Over $500 million gets wasted on worthless fuel additives every year. And guess what? Mechanics love it. Today, I'm giving you the 13 best fuel additives mechanics don't want you to know, the ones that actually save engines. And if you stick around, I'll also expose the biggest scams on the shelf right now. Junk brands you should avoid like the plague. Let's start with fuel injector cleaners. Number 13, Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. This one's been saving fuel systems since before some of you were born. If I had $1 for every fuel system this stuff saved, I wouldn't be turning wrenches anymore. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus isn't just another cleaner. It's the gold standard used by dealerships, recommended by GM, and tested to actually do something. We're talking full system cleaning, injectors, valves, combustion chambers, the whole nine. The secret? Polyethyramine. That's the chemical that actually breaks down carbon and varnish. Most of the cheap stuff you see doesn't have it. Techron does, and in strong doses. I've had cars come into the shop with misfires, rough idle, and crap mileage. Pour a bottle of this in, run a tank through, and boom. Smooth idle, better throttle response, and cleaner emissions. And no, that's not magic. That's chemistry that works. It also helps MPG and gets rid of hesitation on acceleration. I've seen it clear up codes that were caused by dirty injectors. No parts needed. One of the few additives I actually keep on my shelf. Techron might be the king here in the States, but across the Atlantic, there's a German contender that's been quietly dominating in silence until now. Number 12. Liquoly Jectron Fuel Injection Cleaner. If you've got a European engine, this stuff is like espresso for your injectors. Liquoly Jectron is the real deal, especially if you're driving anything German. Audi, BMW, Mercedes. This additive was made for them. Approved by the TÜV in Germany and backed by some of the most stringent OEM standards in the industry, this isn't just marketing hype. It's tested, proven, and respected. What does it do? It goes after carbon like a laser, breaks down buildup inside your injectors and intake system without wrecking your seals or sensors. I've seen it fix high, idle, hesitation, and cold start stumbles in engines that were borderline ready for a teardown. Just one bottle per tank, and things start to smooth out real quick. It also improves throttle response, reduces knocking, and helps with fuel atomization. That means better combustion and more power where it counts. If you've got a higher mileage Euro engine and it's running like it just woke up in a bad mood, try this before you pay someone to tear into it. We just went deep with German tech. Now, let's flip the switch. The next one delivers power, MPG, and emission fixes without the lab coat. Number 11, Royal Purple Max Clean. If it's got the Royal Purple name on it, you already know it's built for performance, and Max Clean is no exception. This stuff isn't just a fuel injector cleaner. It's a 3-in-1 powerhouse that cleans, restores, and protects your entire fuel system. We're talking fuel economy gains up to 3.2%, horsepower increases up to 2.6%, and emissions reductions by 12 to 18%. And those aren't made-up numbers. Those came from actual third-party dyno and lab tests, not some backyard YouTuber with a spreadsheet. I've seen this turn sluggish daily drivers into crisp-running machines. It cleans injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers. Plus, it's safe for both gas and diesel engines. You get a smoother idle, quicker throttle, and cleaner tailpipe without having to touch a wrench. It's also stabilized for long-term storage, which makes it great for vehicles that sit for weeks at a time. Hot rods, motorcycles, weekend warriors, this one's for you. So if your engine's lost its edge and you're not ready to tear it apart, Max Clean is worth a shot. But if you think fuel system cleaners are impressive. Next, we have Octane Boosters. Number 10, Boostane Professional Octane Booster. Track guys swear by it. Street guys think it's magic. Boostane isn't your average booster. If you're still buying those $5 octane boosters at the gas station, stop. Most of them barely nudge your octane level. Boostane? This thing takes your pump gas and turns it into race fuel. Seriously. We're talking octane levels up to 116, depending on your mix. I've used it on turbo builds, high compression street motors, and weekend warriors that couldn't afford to knock once. Boostane is the real deal when it comes to preventing detonation, especially on modified engines. It works with oxygen sensors and catalytic converters, and it's tested not to gunk up anything downstream. What makes it different is that it's not just alcohol and mystery ingredients. Boostane includes a proprietary anti-knock blend and real octane-enhancing compounds, and it's backed by independent lab tests. The app they offer even lets you calculate the exact mix you need based on your fuel and desired octane. That's how precise this stuff is. If you've a tuned car, a boosted build, or simply want that extra protection under full throttle, this is the one. But the next octane booster? It's so potent, most mechanics won't even mention it unless you ask. Number 9, Torco Unleted Fuel Accelerator. Torco is like race fuel in a can, and it actually smells like it too. This isn't your average octane booster. Torco Unleted Fuel Accelerator is what the serious guys use when they can't get their hands on VP or Sunoco 110. You're not just bumping octane a couple of points. You're building custom race fuel right in your tank. It's loaded with methylcyclopentadienyl manganese tricarbonyl, a manganese-based compound that delivers real octane gains, not pretend ones. Depending on your mix, you can raise your fuel's octane from 91 to well over 102 plus, which is a game changer for high compression engines, turbos, and superchargers. Now, here's the deal. This stuff is strong, and it's not for your grandma's grocery getter. Use it wrong, and you'll foul plugs or clog cats. But use it right, it'll eliminate knock, improve throttle response, and make your engine run like it just found its missing horsepower. I've used it in everything from built street cars to drag setups that needed just a little more safety margin on the top end. It works, and it works fast. But now we're moving into diesel territory. And if you drive a diesel truck, what's coming next might save you thousands in injector repairs and regen headaches. So stick around, and if you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, share it with your gearhead buddies, and subscribe for more real-world tips that actually work. Coming next, diesel additives. Number 8, Hotshot's secret everyday diesel treatment. If you drive a diesel and don't use this, you're asking for trouble. Modern diesel engines aren't as forgiving as they used to be. Ultra-low sulfur diesel stripped out a lot of the lubricity, and now injectors and fuel pumps are wearing out faster than ever. That's where Hotshot's secret everyday diesel treatment comes in. And this stuff pulls double, even triple duty. It boosts cetane, adds lubricity, cleans injectors, stabilizes fuel, and fights moisture, all in one dose. It's trusted by fleets, long haulers, and diesel techs across the country. I've seen rough idling power strokes and smoky Cummins engines run smoother after just one tank with this stuff in it. What sets it apart? The LX4 lubricity additive inside it. That's the real magic. It protects high-pressure fuel systems, especially CP4 pumps, from premature failure. And those things are stupid expensive to replace. Plus, you'll notice quicker starts, better throttle, and maybe even a bump in MPG. It's cheap insurance for a system that's easily a $4,000 repair job if it fails. But the next one? It's been a trucker's secret weapon for decades, and it still works like a charm. Number 7, Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost. Cold starts, rough, idle, lag. Diesel Clean fixes all three. This stuff's been riding in glove boxes and tool boxes since the early 2000s, and for good reason. Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost is a go-to for truckers, fleet mechanics, and anyone who actually works their diesel hard. The magic here is the cetane bump, up to 6 full points. That means faster, cleaner combustion. Your engine fires quicker, idles smoother, and pulls harder, especially under load. If you've got a sluggish diesel in the winter or one that bucks under acceleration, this stuff brings it back to life. It also cleans injectors, boosts fuel economy, and adds lubricity, which, again, is crucial since modern ULSD fuel is as dry as a bone. And don't forget, it helps prevent gelling in cold temps. That means fewer no-start mornings and less white smoke. I've seen this stuff smooth out 7.3 power strokes, clean up Duramax smoke trails, and even bring some old 5.9 Cummins motors back from the brink. It's dependable, affordable, and easy to find at any truck stop across the country. But now, it's time to talk about a hidden killer, water in your fuel system. That brings us to the next category of additives: water removers and stabilizers. Number 6, Starron Enzyme Fuel Treatment. This ain't just a stabilizer, it's fuel rehab. Starron isn't some watered-down gimmick you toss in the tank and hope for the best. This stuff uses enzymes, not alcohol, to break apart water molecules, clean up phase-separated fuel, and restore bad gas back to life. If you're dealing with ethanol-laced fuel, and let's be honest, most of us are, this is your first line of defense. Ethanol absorbs water from the air, and over time, it causes phase separation, which means your fuel literally splits into gas and sludge. Not good. Starron stops that from happening. It prevents corrosion, cleans injectors, and stabilizes your fuel for up to 2 years. That's why it's trusted in marine engines, RV tanks, and seasonal equipment. Stuff that sits for months at a time and needs to fire up on the first crank. I've used it in everything from outboard motors to snow blowers to older fuel-injected cars. It just works. Keeps the tank clean and the system happy. No more stale gas smell, no more hesitation. Starron keeps things fresh for the long haul. But if you've ever fought with a frozen fuel line in the dead of winter, this next little bottle is your best friend. Number 5, STP Water Remover and Fuel Line Antifreeze. Every mechanic's cheap trick in winter? This right here. This little bottle has been saving cold starts and frozen fuel lines for decades. STP Water Remover and Fuel Line Antifreeze is old school, but don't let that fool you. It still works like a charm, especially if you've got an older car or leave where winter hits hard. It's dirt cheap, easy to find, and ridiculously effective. Just pour it into your tank before a freeze, and it helps pull moisture out of the fuel system before it turns into ice. That means no frozen lines, no rough starts, no sitting in the driveway cranking until your battery dies. I've used this stuff on beaters, carbureted engines, lawnmowers, you name it. When a customer comes in complaining that their car won't start after a cold night, 9 times out of 10, it's moisture in the lines, and this fixes it for under $5. It also helps prevent rust in steel tanks and keeps injectors from pitting due to water contamination. No gimmicks, no hype, just a simple fix that works. All right, enough warm-ups. Let's get into the heavy hitters now, combustion and friction enhancers. Number 4, BG44K Fuel System Cleaner. The dealership uses this, but they'll charge you triple. Let me tell you a little secret. When a customer brings in a car with rough, idle, poor throttle response, or hesitation under load, Dealerships love to run a bottle of BG44K through the tank and charge them for a fuel system service. What they don't tell you is, they're just using this one can. That's how powerful it is. BG44K is hands down one of the most aggressive fuel system cleaners you can buy without a license. It's loaded with high concentration PEA, the same ingredient that makes Techron great, but with more punch. It cuts through intake valve deposits, carbon buildup, and combustion chamber gunk like a hot knife through butter. I've seen it bring dead misfiring engines back to life without even popping the hood. Seriously, cars with clogged injectors or fouled valves that were barely idling came back smooth and strong after one tank with this stuff. It's not cheap, but it works. And if you drive direct injection, you should be using it every 10,000 miles, minimum. After BG44K's full force carbon assault, you might think there's nothing better. But wait till you meet this low-key legend that punches way above its weight. Number 3, Lubagard Fuel System Booster. This one boosts power, fuel economy, and lubrication, all in one bottle. Nobody talks about this one, and that's a damn shame. Lubagard Fuel System Booster is one of the most underrated additives out there. It doesn't just clean your fuel system, it improves the way your fuel burns. Unlike most cleaners, this stuff is EPA registered and OEM approved. It works on both gasoline and ethanol blends and has real-world results. Better throttle response, lower emissions, and even quieter combustion. I've had customers swear their engines felt smoother after just one tank. And honestly, I've seen the difference myself. What really sets it apart is the fuel lubrication. Modern fuels, especially ethanol blends, are bone dry. Lubagard helps protect your injectors, fuel pump, and upper cylinder walls from wear by putting the slick back into the system. It also helps reduce knocking and pinging on older engines and keeps carbon from building up in the first place. This isn't flashy, and it doesn't come in a fancy can, but it works. And if you're running older equipment or just want to keep your system sharp, it's a smart move. But now we're heading into the deep end. The next two? They are specialty additives that fix specific problems. Number 2. KandN Performance Plus Fuel System Cleaner. Most folks know KandN for air filters, but their Performance Plus Fuel System Cleaner? It's a hidden gem. This stuff was made for fuel systems that are already in trouble. I'm talking clogged injectors, hesitation, rough idle, and hard starts. Not the kind of thing regular cleaners fix. The formula is strong. It's packed with high levels of PEA, the same chemical in top-tier cleaners like Techron and BG44K. But KandN adds its own friction modifiers and anti-corrosion agents to protect while it cleans. I've used it on direct injection engines that were running like garbage. Poor throttle response, long crank starts, misfire codes, one tank with KandN and everything smoothed out. You could feel the difference. What it does best? It clears out carbon from the injectors, combustion chamber, and intake valves. It also helps with better fuel burn, so you get more power and better mileage. If you've got an engine with over 75,000 miles, or one that sat too long with old fuel, try this before paying a shop to tear it down. It's simple, it's strong, and it's backed by a name that knows engines. Now, we're down to the legend, the one bottle every real mechanic keeps in their shop. Number 1. Seafoam Motor Treatment. This is the Swiss Army knife of fuel additives. If there's one can every real mechanic keeps on the shelf, it's Seafoam. And not because it's trendy, but because it works. It's been around since 1942, and it's still one of the most trusted, most used, and most versatile additives ever made. Seafoam isn't just a fuel system cleaner. It works in fuel, oil, and even intake systems. I've used it to clean dirty injectors, clear out carbon-packed pistons, quiet noisy lifters, and even revive old mowers and two-strokes that haven't run in years. You can pour it in your gas tank to clean the fuel system, add it to your crankcase to break up sludge, suck it through a vacuum line to blast carbon off your intake valves. And best of all, it's safe. No harsh chemicals, no damage to sensors or seals. Just slow, steady cleaning that brings engines back to life. Is it flashy? No. Is it hyped? Absolutely. But here's the difference. It lives up to the hype, time and time again. But for every Seafoam or Techron that delivers, there's a shelf full of snake oil waiting to waste your money. Some promise the moon, others just smell funny. But none of them belong anywhere near your fuel system. Let's talk about the worst of the worst. Fuel additives to avoid, scams and duds. Number 5, Gum Out Regan, standard version. Looks legit, but it's too weak to do real cleaning. Yes, the high mileage version has decent PEA levels, but the bog standard Regan is barely a needle dip. No serious carbon busting, just solvents and little else. Forums confirm the HM works, but the base version is a no. Number 4, Lucas Upper Cylinder Lubricant and Injector Cleaner. Shop legend, but just grease in disguise. Forums call it what it is, lightweight machine oil that lubricates but does nothing to clean. It thickens fuel and can clog injectors, especially in modern high-pressure direct injection systems. Number 3, Marvel Mystery Oil, vintage label, zero modern muscle. A blast from the past with no scientific backup. Mostly mineral spirits and solvent, no fuel system benefits. Could even strip lubricity in diesel engines. National Transportation Safety Board even flagged it in aircraft incidents. Number 2, Gas Station Racing Power, Octane Boosters, less than $5 shelf bottles. Cheap thrill, no octane gain. Most raise octane by 0.5 points if you're lucky. And worse, they can leave residues. Better off buying higher grade fuel than wasting cash here. Mechanic and forum consensus backs it up. Number 1, generic glow bottle, Octane Boosters, non-branded, and cloth-style miracle cans. Shiny can, empty promise. These flashy bottles at discount stores? No lab data, user reviews are all over the place, and lab tests show little to no improvement. Save your money, race gas, or nothing. Now that you know which fuel additives actually work, and which ones are pure scams, there's still one more thing draining your wallet every time you fill up. In my next video, I'll expose 17 fuel-saving myths that don't work. Click the video on screen now to find out.